grade has a big impact on this at this point.
Yeah, it's not looking very good right now for the Cold team. I can't find like the healing given or the healing taken column, so maybe there isn't one. But right now,
There's not one right now.
Leapy guy, he's trying to really keep himself alive, which is typically a good idea. But Mr. Muga, as I say, he just throws himself out there, tries to be the aggressor, and then he ends up getting focused, and then he has to heal himself. Leapy guy isn't really doing too much. But Zeb right now is going to be trying to stay to Mr. Muga. He's going to punt away Arborist. They might want to try to go on Megazero. He is in that corner. He's going to Shrink Device away, and the oil with the flame is actually not going to be landing on Zeb. He's just too far, and right now it's going to be a Zeb versus Zero as the other guys are just trying to stay alive at this point. Megazero's going to run off. Muko is in hot pursuit, but he's going to get incapacitated during all that. The two teammates do go down. So you saw Mr. Muko just immediately go up for the Megazero as his two teammates, who probably could have used some heals, needed that, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, and another really quick 3-0 finish as expected for Team Mushin. So Mushin easily advancing, and something we were talking about yesterday, people seem to be, when they play Blood Priest, a lot of people are just saving for that ultimate. It is a great ultimate, has a lot of utility, a lot of usefulness in pretty much every way possible, but at the same time, his EX bugs, his EX fear, very useful utility spells. I mean, you got the fear for getaway. It could also be for being aggressive, which obviously they couldn't be at all there. But also the EX bugs is huge AoE damage plus slow, plus it heals the Blood Priest, so it gives him a lot of time to heal others if need be. So I just think it's something that over time will be developed in people's play skills. But right now it's just really not being utilized in any Blood Priest player that I've seen so far. I don't know what your opinion is on that.
With the last game now over, we are having this game. We do have the Good Luck, Have Fun GG champions there on the Cold team. And who do we got here on the Warm team? I do see Mr. 2,
Ooga Booga.
And he's definitely a well-known character around here.
Yeah, that's Team Ooga Booga Booga. Without... they're missing somebody. I can't remember who the third is, but Bloodchamp is filling in for...
Nope, that's their comp right there. Mr. 2, Zant, and Bloodchamp.
Oh, is it Bloodchamp?
Bloodchamp's the Brit, and Zant and Mr. 2 are Danish.
No, I thought Zant was the Brit.
No, buddy.
Okay.
Cast is in the know.
I talk with these guys a lot.
That's his buddy, man. That's his super buddy. Best friend forever, whatever. But yeah, obviously I was talking to Mr. 2 yesterday. He was casting, but... we'll see if he got his lag all figured out now, as he was lagging pretty bad yesterday. I guess his computer broke down or somewhat, and if he's going to be playing on a laptop, he could be having a little bit of a hard time here in this tournament setting with a high GFX game.
Yeah, I have seen the graphics bug myself. If I start up a game, I minimize comeback, I don't have any weapons, which isn't the worst thing, I suppose, for me, because, they're all just aesthetic, but sometimes, if you're going to be throwing that boomerang, I'd like to know where it's going. Yeah.
It was better than the old alt-tab bug, which is, all the bloodlines disappear and all you can see is their shadows, and that's when it gets really difficult. But, ever since they added that option, you can play... windowed and maximize windowed mode. That takes away all those chances of those bugs from ever happening, because basically the game client acts as if it was windowed, but at the same time it's full screen. So there's really, in my opinion, no reason not to use that bug, and it allows you to alt-tab freely whenever you want and never get that bug, at least from what I've come to expect. So
Tazosaurus dropping you on the technical knowledge. There you go, guys. We don't ever want to see any kind of bug reports ever again. Just play maximized windowed mode. So,
a lot of people don't usually report it anyways, and it's a release game too. So at that point, you got the insiders to deal with that issue. But a lot of people don't want to deal with bugs anyways, especially these competitive guys, and you kind of want to stay away from it if you can.
So what are we waiting for here?
I think they're doing Band's picks right now. They're getting the last of their picks in, and
okay.
Also trolling with the kicks on other players. So
fair enough. Now we did see Cold Team last round. They did play that Gunner Spearmaster. I think it was the Pump, or was it the Elk combo?
The Cold Team was running Gunner, Spearmaster, and Pomp, I believe. No, it was Alchemist. It was Alchemist.
Let's take a quick look. Alchemist most played on Xteen, Spearmaster on Mithy, and Joho on the Gunner. So likely we're going to be seeing that same composition. And now Mr. 2 and his team, what are they kind of more well known for here?
When they won Kill the King 3 or 4, what was it? It had to be at least 6 weeks ago because ISR has won everyone since. They ran Astro, Engineer, and maybe it was Ranid?
Yes,
yeah,
the
that's
Ranid.
what I thought. So it was a very interesting comp, and not one that's very. It was around the time when Engineers started getting back into the metagame. So ever since they won, I think Engineer's been a lot more popular pick, and quite personally, I think it's been a great pick all around, especially since it's the only other class with a dispel other than Alchemist. So it's very good against heroes like Thorn or someone with shield abilities. Take those off, especially against Alchemists. You can purge the barrier, obviously, and once that barrier is gone, they're forced to basically stand still and heal themselves if they're in bad shape. So Zient 2, one of the few Astro players currently in the competitive scene. There's just so many people playing Pomp and Alchemist. There's really not much room for any of the healers. There's a Herald only really played by Malachor. And Blood Priest is very rarely seen as well, and even if he is played, it's usually not on a top-tier team, so at least what I would consider.
No, fair enough. I have noticed that trend as well. Pomp and Alchemist usually taking the top 2 spots. I mean, we seem to have the whole trend for all kind of different archetypes of the heroes, but Blood Champ's going to be putting some pressure there on Xteen. Xteen's wisely staying in the back, going to let the Spearmaster and the Gunner be taking a lot of the brunt here. Mr. 2 jumps in, however. Might have been a very fatal idea. Gets blinded. The Spearmaster is just going to finish him off very quickly, so a little bit of a misplay there. Zient just couldn't keep up with the heals, and now Blood Champ, a little bit of harass coming out. Unfortunately, though, he's just taking more damage than he's dealing. Is going to get that charge off, but I don't know. It's going to be very risky. Zient does get a space heal onto him, but Bloodchamp's going to get slept over there in the corner. They're very far apart right now, Zient and Bloodchamp, and as you see, he goes down very easily. Zient's going to follow him. Too sweet.
Yeah, that was a rough round for Warm Team. Mr. 2, he was a little bit too aggressive. He got focused on, and ever since that jump in, he was going down. No matter what happened, no matter how many heals he got, he had absolutely no chance. There's too much damage coming out from MTY, getting free back hits all day long. And, Mr. 2, as we were saying, the laptop, not a good game. Unless you have quite a powerful laptop, it's not a game that you want to play on anything less than a desktop-powered PC, in my opinion. So, either way, that's going to be 1-0 for the Cold team, and they're going to look to keep up the momentum here with MTY really forcing his focus a lot. Zient doing a great job with control with his Moonstones, and, great job by MTY and Johu lining up their abilities at the same time, bursting down Mr. 2 so quickly, and your healer can't react to that kind of burst damage, especially when you land those big damage abilities. It's just too much to handle, and a lot of it is MTY really controlling space right now. This entire map, he's controlling everything, really putting the pressure on where he needs to, forcing the Warm team to make mistakes when they don't need to be making them.
69 spear slash damage going down to Mr. 2. That had to have been lined up with an execute or just a focus shot, because both of those did land on Mr. 2 as well. And yeah, I mean, just a big 65 damage came out of nowhere, and that's fully a third of his health, which is just ridiculous. 33%. You can't exactly heal through that kind of burst, especially if you're that low already. So 2-0 now for the Good Luck Have Fun champions. I think it's just a great thing to say, because I love their title. It's just great. Bloodchamp, going to take a 52 back hit, execute. Now he's going to be dropping really low. He's going to get some heals off, running around, trying to avoid a lot of the gunner fire, and just really leading the Spearmaster on a merry chase, but that's going to leave Mr. 2 in a bad position. He enlarges, tries to get out of there. Unfortunately, spacebar does seem to be down, and it's just not going to work. He has no other way to avoid that damage. Bloodchamp is going to be incapacitated or stunned or off to the corner, just not going to bother moving, and he's going to go down. This is going to be a quick victory here for the Gold team.
Yeah, and I noticed one thing Johu's doing that's very underrated is he's actually using his Big Bertha for extra damage on a mortar that would, what would be a mortar instead. He's using for Big Bertha, which is an extra 6 damage or so, plus the knockback. And when you're just bursting a target down like they did, you may as well use the EX abilities if you know you can guarantee yourself a kill. Or they're getting that easy, early introductory kill, I guess you could call it, the first kill of the match. And once you get that first kill, more common than not, the rest of the team is going to fall. So you never want to lose that initial death, but at that point they were in such a bad situation. Bloodchamp went in there, took a ton of damage. He had to jump back, get healed, and while all that was happening, Zient was healing Mr. 2, and Bloodchamp Zient was healing Bloodchamp, and Mr. 2 was all by himself, got taken out, and it was just too much for Zient to do by himself. He's just in a really bad spot.
It was definitely an overwhelming performance here for the Cold team. It did look like a little bit of a lack of organization. You kind of see the team chat going down there from the Warm team. Now, are we going to see any kind of swap up? Very unlikely at this point. Cold team, they know what works. They're going to stick with it. We do have the engineer come out already here on the Warm team. Likely we're just going to see the healer run it again unless Bloodchamp has some kind of a different idea on how to approach this. He did do a good amount of harass, and he was able to avoid a lot of those skill shots, except that, at the same time, he runs away, they just collapse on the other guy, and, you're going to heal one, you have to heal the other, you get split. I mean, you don't really want to be in that kind of situation. And out comes the Astro. We do have the Spearmaster, likely going to see these last picks just going to be the same as last round.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Bloodchamp, 70% rented, so he's no beginner to the Rened. It's just, it's very team-oriented game. Actually, as I say that, he's going to switch to Ravener, so... he does have a decent amount with Ravener, I guess, but I think a lot of it has to do with that gunner on the other team, and maybe even the Shuriken Reflex, because those two abilities are very powerful projectiles that do a ton of damage and are a ton of energy gain. So you always got to consider, getting that EX ability faster, getting that ultimate faster is always a no-no situation. And if Ravener can get a couple execute Reflex, can easily turn the game around into the Worm team's favor. So we will see what they decide to do here, or what they can do.
All right, so take it away there, Mr. Taz.
All right, I will then. And we see just the M1s come out. Very typical of these pro guys. Just, spam the M1, get everything warmed up, ready to go. Nice reflect on that injection here. Looks like going to be jumping on X-Teen. All three players on X-Teen taking a big damage right here. Is going to drop. Great job by the Worm team. Focusing their chi, focusing their damage, and just absolutely nowhere for X-Teen to go. He was in a really bad spot. The injection all started it off. And like I was mentioned, that reflect so huge on key abilities, and I clearly didn't mention injection, but that's definitely a huge projectile to land. It's actually Bloodchamp taking a 52 back hit right there from XQ, and Mr. 2 is just going to finish off with the Machine Gun Fury finish. So great round there by the Worm team.
Bloodchamp really did a great job setting that up. She jumped in, punted away one of the teammates. The other was already down there, and that left X-Teen up in the corner all by herself. They collapsed. There was a wall. She couldn't get out, and just boom, boom, boom. Very quick death, and that led them up to cleaning up for the last kills there. I've been told Mr. 2 is a smart robot. What does that mean?
He was in robotic voice yesterday because he was lagging so bad on Skype.
Okay, so the smart robot did win that last round for them, and now this round we do have not a great setup. Bloodchamp didn't exactly get off, but there's another punt. Going to be Joho off to the corner. It did have a rocket jump ready for it, coming right back over, and haven't really seen an execute. We did see a few back hits last time right now. She is going to be stealthing up. He is very separated from her team. If they collapse on her right now, I don't think... Okay, she does have that rocket jump, so not exactly the best idea, but now without that rocket jump, they're still going to collapse on her. Regardless, Mr. 2 is going to be taking a ton of damage from the Spearmaster over. Mithy doing a great job keeping him down there in the low hit point range. X-Teen, though, very healthy, very off in the corner. We do have Bloodchamp going to try to punch her in. They could collapse on her very easily right now, but it does not look like that's going to be working. She does take a lot of damage. Unfortunately, Bloodchamp does go down for it, and now all three teammates going to be dying in this corner. They just could not get the burst down onto that healer.
Yeah, I think they could have easily switched over to MTY, and man, he was at so low for so long, and instead of going on him, they just kept attacking X-Teen. They wanted the Alchemist so badly. They were just tunneling so hard, and you really got to be more aware of a Spearmaster right next to you. I mean, sure, he could have had a Conjure up, but after that, he would have easily gotten taken out in one or two abilities, and that was just a misplay, in my opinion, by the entire Worm team, just not focusing, more like over-focusing on one person instead of just looking around, hitting the person right next to the healer, and maybe getting that earlier kill. And as right now MTY is getting a big he's just kind of free reign right now, but he is taking a lot of damage. And just as I say that, wow, look at the damage he just took right there. Heel's coming out on MTY as fast as possible. He's going to use that fleet foot to get away barely in time. And a sleep, I don't know if that just got reflected, but didn't sleep anyone for very long. And it looks like a minor reset is going to be happening here as the Worm team is going to sit in the bottom while the Cold team is manning the bunker here in the top. It looks like they're just all around these sandbags. Trying to stay around the corners as MTY is going to harpoon in on Mr. 2. But Johu is still taking a lot of damage. They're trying to stick on him. Zenit space in and gets the kill with that Moon Shadow debuff. So big damage right there, using the Astro abilities as much better as he can. But look at that. In the meantime, Bloodchamp gets taken out, and then MTY gets taken out. So Alchemist taking almost no damage here, but now he's left by himself, and this is a bad spot for Alchemist in a 1v2 situation. And I think this is going to be curtains for Cold Team. But, nice comeback again for the Worm team. Did you notice the aggression going on to Spearmaster a little bit there that time, Court?
The thing I'm really impressed with is the Ravener punts. Like, we're just doing such great work separating or then collapsing on top. Like, we did punt everyone into the top. As you said, they were manning the bunker, but then they all collapsed, and that allowed a good amount of AoE to go down. But, Mithy, he is playing that Spearmaster well, and they don't really like good Spearmasters, so of course they are going to be trying to do as much aggression onto him as possible. He gets EMP'd, but there's no follow-up. Again, Joho gets punted out, tries to stealth back in. We're trying to get that blind onto Bloodchamp. Bloodchamp has to run away right now, has nothing to get away with at this point, but that's going to leave Mithy in a bad spot because X-Team was around the corner there for the line of sight. We are going to be collapsing right now onto Mithy. X-Team, however, is in the back, virtually untouched at this point, so there's no pressure going down there. She's going to get a lot of these heals off. I can't say the same for Zenit, however, because we do have Joho just landing those M1s very perfectly on top of them, and so Zenit is going to have to run away. Look at that. We did end up getting Mithy because X-Team was too busy with Joho, and unfortunately it's now going to be a 3 versus 2, but the health pools are about the same. Bloodchamp going to try to go up there to X-Team. Joho is kind of alone down here, though, and that's might be able to get the extra DPS here from the Alk onto Bloodchamp, but no, a great punt. Going to be saving her life right now. Zenit also had to spacebar in for that, but because X-Team got punted up, Joho dropping so very low. Mr. 2 wants to finish this off, has the EMP, and Zenit's going to grab that kill, and that's going to be a 2 versus 1 situation. I was going to say the win, but Bloodchamp does go down. X-Team might have a chance here. I mean, he is the Alchemist, and they do good work, but it is DPS healer versus just the healer, and Zenit with those M1s of his might be able to turn enough burst damage to have come down. Mr. 2 is going to get slept. Now it's going to be that.
Yeah, especially with Astro's M1 when it's fully charged has that healing and damage debuff, and that's just so critical, especially when the healer's only the last one remaining. And once you get that slow debuff, it's just it's pretty game over for him, as we saw right there. So. Worm team coming back very strong right there after their pretty crushing 3-0 loss, and hopefully they can keep up that momentum and keep it going because that Ravener seems to be a good pick. I did notice a lot of executes actually being reflected, and those are very key. Even if they don't hit after the reflect, it's still not hitting you, so it's very important. 44 damage is no joke in this game because you can only heal 20 at a time, or 16 in Astro's case, so... It is very crushing, and it really puts the healers behind when you take burst damage like that. And a lot of it has to do from Mady, I guess, as people are calling him. So
Mithy.
We will see. Yeah, we'll see if this Spearmaster can hold the momentum a bit better this time. As once the Spearmaster gets put in a defensive spot, he really loses a lot of his twist in a matchup. As if he can just if he can just roam freely, do his damage, he can be a force to reckon with. And especially with the projectiles on this Worm team, he's got to, especially Mr. 2, he's got to watch out for those baiting Kunjus and stuff. But already we see the punt on X-Teen, and Johu forced us go backwards and get in range because that wall right in X-Teen's face. So good job by Bloodchamp, forcing them into the corner right now. Another punt into the corner, and now it looks like they want to go on a Johu, but now I guess they want to be forced to the corner. Nice reflect on that rocket launcher. 2 rocket launcher reflect. Forced to cancel early and basically eats up the entire barrier right there. No barrier for Mady, and Mady is going to get rocked right there all by himself. And that is just a lot to do with Bloodchamp right there. Bloodchamp set all that up, and Mr. 2 just was there for the extra DPS. And huge setup right there, and again, he's thrown out the early goo, not going to get a whole lot out of that, and I think they're just going to crumble at this one, and there's not much the Cold team can really do at this point. So I'd have to say this is probably a really strong round for the Warm team, and they're just full speed ahead right now.
I gotta say, I mean, Blood Champ is doing a great job just setting up these kills. I mean, he's separating the team, he's going in there, he's being bait, and at the same time, it's working for them. So, maybe not a random combo, but this Ravener is definitely doing really good things for Ooga Booga Booga, which just sounds ridiculous to say on stream.
Some kind of tribal thing.
Bloodline Champions give me a whole tribal feeling, so I guess it really does fit in, but I don't know, I still feel kind of childish to say it. But anyways, Blood Champ, he's going to jump in here with a little bit of a spin, but right now he is kind of cornered with those three. Xteen, again, up in that corner. We might be able to see a good punt if we get Mithy or Joho, separated from Xteen. At this point, they do not want to get that. Blood Champ is going to be eating damage. There we go. Joho's down in the corner, likely has the rocket jump. There we go. Back up to Xteen. Mithy's going to come down here for a little bit of DPS, but last time he did that, he did die. Blood Champ reflecting a little bit. The Kunju coming out, going to be trying to do a lot of damage. Joho gets incapacitated. Could be a decent amount of damage. Xian, however, in that goo, taking a lot of damage. Oh, great combo with both Mithy and Joho going to be taking them down. Blood Champ is going to be trying to stay onto Xteen. They might be able to get him. 24s, 21s coming down, but not going to be enough bursts as they both, the DPS of the Warm team, do drop.
Yeah, and again, they wanted that Alchemist so bad, and look at the Cold team, they're all below 50% HP, MTY about 35%, Alchemist survives with about 15 life. The damage is there, it's just not fast enough to be out-healed, and I think a lot of that has to do with, Blood Champ. Blood Champ has to be the one to really put that, damage out, and I think a good majority of his damage is going to have to be reflected. You look at Johu now, completely ignoring Ravener. If they can't reflect it, then obviously Gunner is just going to get free damage on either Mr. 2 or Xian. And already Blood Champ at 25% HP. MTY is going on to him with the Whirling Blade. Nice punt to keep him alive right there. EX heal coming out from Xian to make sure he stays alive. So he does have that buff for a couple seconds. It's going to be gone now. So just basically for that burst heal at that point. And Mr. 2, again, goes in there maybe a little bit too aggressive. MTY on him, trying to get that Whirling Blade. It's not going to get it, but they're not going to get the kill as a result. And Blood Champ just wants that rune. That might have cost him by going that rune. And, Matey just missed that Tempest. That would have been a kill on Blood Champ. But the goo is going to come out. Xian, again, spaces and gets hit by the goo as a result. So when you're playing against an Alchemist as an Astro, you really got to watch your spacing, because once you space, and if the Alchemist has a goo, you're pretty much going to die 100% of the time, because that goo is just the slow necessary to keep you in there the entire duration, and unless you're just spam healing yourself, there's no way you're going to survive.
Joho had some overwhelmingly focus fire damage coming out. His second biggest damage was rocket jump, so we didn't even see any executes that round. But that's okay, guys, because a lot of damage comes out of those M1s, and you really need to be spamming that. It does get you that that buff for the increased attack speed, but these goos, Xteen, landing those goos and then having Mithy and Joe keep people in that goo, that's the big thing right now. Talking about Xteen, she is up in the corner yet again, going to be getting a lot of focus. Zint now actually in the corner with Mithy and Joho just outside, going to be landing some shots here on Mr. 2. We are going to get some healing off. Mithy going to go back onto Zint, however, I'm not too sure that's going to be enough. He does get Moonstone, they're just going to leave him there. Xteen is in a lot of trouble, but Blood Champ doesn't want to seem to jump over there. Oh, we get the incapacitate off Xian. Could be trying. Yes, there we go. Two simultaneous deaths, both on Joho and Xteen. That giant wall in front of them is definitely a barrier that they couldn't overcome that round.
Yeah, and, they're making it really interesting and close here. We are at a 2-2 situation, and whoever wins this map, I believe, is going to take it, as the Cold team took first map, and Ooga Booga on the Warm team took second map. So this is for the advancement in the winner's bracket, and as this is double elimination, you never want to have to go to loser's bracket until at least far into it, because once you go into the loser's bracket, the earlier you go in, it could be a long uphill battle. And this is for all the marbles right here, as Blood Champ already going below 50% HP. A lot of damage coming out onto him because, he's the only really aggressive one they have on the team. Mr. 2 can just sit back, put out the in-caps, put out the CC, and Blood Champ is going to take most of the damage here. But it looks like Johu and Mr. 2 doing their own 1v1 thing, as the DPS healers are doing the other thing above them. And right now, Johu does have a rocket launcher available. He needs to watch out for that. Mr. 2, though, going to get focused on right there. They need a counter kill here for Ooga Booga really badly. If they can get MTY down, they might have a chance. But I don't think it's going to happen, as, there goes Blood Champ. And I think Ooga Booga deal is sealed, and I think they're going to lose brackets with, I think, what team is this? I don't know what the Cold team is, but they're advancing now.
Cast, you got the knowledge there, dude?
We lost Cast. He died.
He's here around somewhere. But yeah.
Is that Triple Wolf Fist? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Must have been.
Oh, whoops! I pressed the window key instead of Alt-ZX, and so it didn't get on Skype for you guys. And yeah, I said it on the stream, but don't worry. I'm messing up my hotkeys, changing some things around. But yeah, that was Triple Brofist on the Cold team, Ooga Booga on the Worm team. The rest of the streamers know, or the viewers know, because I got the title layers up.
Well, that and Rexus is in stream chat saying the net. Oh, there's the new icon. Wow, the tiger mask is very silvery now. So they're now transcendent. That is pretty catchy, I must admit. And we got what? Grade 26 versus 23. This is gonna be one hell of a fight. I don't know about you, but this is gonna be probably one of the hopefully the more close matches, as a very well-known team on both sides. And obviously, the most recently picked up Team SK, as it is a big name in gaming or in esports.
Well, yeah, SK Gaming, as you said, one of the top world's organizations for gaming. I mean, they are up there with Fnatic MSI, Evil Geniuses. We did talk a little bit about other games right now. So now they have a Bloodline Champions team to go alongside, their Counter-Strike, their Quake Live. They do have the world's #2 Heroes of Newerth game, according to the World Cup that did play out earlier this year. So, it's a very decent organization. They've been around since 1997. It's good to see them pick up a team here. Very likely they're going to be at DreamHack, and that's going to be a big promotion for them. But Ham No Idea, the team I couldn't remember last year, they did finish second in last week's Kill the King tournament, so don't discount them quite yet.
Yeah, definitely not. They're definitely a great team, and they're going to go with the Randed Gunner, so decent ranged abilities combined with, stun combination into an execute if possible. They just really have to watch out for Jackasm on the SM, just very good Kunju guy, and Kunju is a big part of Spearmaster's game. And if you can land those Kunju just like that right there, a dart Kunju, and it's just so fast. It was the first dart that came out, and when you have that happen, it's really hard to bait or to maybe juke your darts or your M1 shots. And Jack has him doing what he does best, kind of sit in the back there, gets another Kunju off. He's going to go onto the back, onto the healer, which is what he's really well known for, is just going on that healer, putting out the damage. And Rex, now that he plays the inhibitor, much more durable than when he played the igniter, so now he can afford to sit in the back, kind of do his damage while Jackasm does his own thing. And right now, Peta looks like it could be in really big trouble. Goo goes down. They're trying to keep that damage up. Rex, though, nice Wuju right there to counter Zab. I think that might have been an execute shot, but either way, Frog Leap is going to finish him off. It's now a 2v2 situation. However, Cold Team does not have a healer to account for, and Chips and Jack is no joke right now. That is one hard-as-hell combination to deal with, and I don't see Cold Team really doing or coming out of this one alive, but, I have seen crazier things happen, and, again, great clarity by Chips, taking him out of stealth. Zab is trying to get healed up. Jack in hot pursuit right there, but Chips also in hot pursuit. He's trying to get away. The SK team is sticking together right here, making sure no one jumps on Chips so the damage can't come out. And I think Jack really doing a good job of protecting his healer. But wow, Tempest into a I think that was an EX Clarity, I believe.
No, it was an instant injection.
It was an instant injection. All right, yeah, that was big damage right there. 46, and the Gib coming out. So real stylish here for Team SK, and they're looking really strong already.
Jack has him trying to do the victory pose there at the end, but they didn't kill the Rented, so oops, a little bit mistimed. But as soon as I saw the sleep vial go down, it's just like, oh Zab, you're dead, which is no good. So we do have the first round there taken by SK Gaming, and as we said, Jack and Chips IN, very hard combo to take out anything healer and Spearmaster up against 2 DPS, especially Fleetfoot, Kunju, a good amount of ways to lose a lot of that incoming damage. It's going to be hard to take down. So don't discount Ham No Idea yet, although Pandrum is up by himself. Zab was asleep, I believe, down there, and he's going to have to come back down to Peta. Peta is now going to be the target. Jackasm does not want to give him up, and Rex, he's going to be throwing down some DPS. He's going to keep Zab a little entertained over there. Zab's going to rocket jump back over, but Jackasm, Kunju didn't quite work. Good Fleetfoot out of that. Just Shuriken going down. And he just really does not want to leave Peta alone. We do have the Out Goo going on to Peta. And it's just so close. Rex with the Runic Infusion there we go. Lands the last shot onto Peta. And that's not going to look very good for Pandrum, as we did lose Zab during that transaction as well. So very... I don't know, not a very quick game, about a 55-second game, respectable length, but I don't know, we couldn't seem to land the damage down to SK.
Yeah, and man, Jack was able to be aggressive the whole time. You really have to be able to control Jack and his damage, but also, look at Rex, 400 damage on Inhibitor. That's no joke right there, as Inhibitor is all about the little projectiles hitting you, so that's essentially the same idea as Gunner just M1ing you to death, essentially. So Rex here doing a good job with that, and, you know, Wujus are also pretty key from Rex, and now with him playing Inhibitor, they got 2 people on the team with a counter attack with Kunju and Wuju, so very dangerous for this Gunner. He can't really do a whole lot without being feared of being countered on. So again, Jack has him sitting on Peta here, making sure he's not getting out. And again, the counter goo coming out. Clarity the wrong direction, not going to matter though. Rocket's coming out from Zab, trying to get Jack off. Not going to matter though, as Chips is going to take a lot of pressure here. Double Venom Lunge coming out, and actually a really nice Frog Leap, and they're going to avoid that. Actually, Pendulum does take out Chips, so this is a 2v2 situation, but look at Zab's HP right now. He's sitting at about 6%, or he is at 6 HP, and 1 Kunju was all it needed right there. Kunju comes through, and nice Whirling Blade, probably to save Rex's life right there and make him come out on top. So Team SK 3-0 finish for this first map.
Very strong performance, as he did say. Both the 2 DPS players do have that way to avoid the damage, get into the fight, because, I mean, they are melee classes. They have to get in there if they want to do a lot of damage. So that kind of leaves you with going on Chips Hyen, who seems to be very accurate in the whole, clarity, the whole sleep potion, and just avoiding damage. But he did die there at the end. Unfortunately, was not enough, as the Cold team was not able to stand up to both Jackasm and Rex. To their credit, they almost did take Rex there, but the first game going to SK Gaming. We do have another observer. Hello. And we're going to go on to the next map, which is... now, how do you say that word? I say it as Shelox, but that's...
I just call it Shelo or something.
Yeah.
It's clearly not what it is, but I just call it that.
Well, I mean, like, it's giving it the French kind of, like, accent.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's hard to tell where they get
Europe.
names from, honestly.
Shelo. I think there was some kind of, like, battle in Shelo. I fell asleep during history class a lot, but that's where I kind of pulled it out from.
Yeah, you pulled it out from somewhere, that's for sure. As Cass chiming in. You know, everyone loves Cass, especially you guys on stream. But again, you know, we're going to stick to... Well, actually, we're going back to a double Randed setup, and I do believe this is what they do run quite often.
Yep.
Is this double Randed. So we'll see if this does better. I do believe a couple weeks back they did beat in Soviet Russia when they were called in Soviet Russia with this double Randed setup. So we'll see if this works out for them this time. And, it all comes down to if they can bait their darts. A lot of the time, those darts are going to give free energy with the Wuju and the Kunju. So you got to be really careful of that, especially with the double counterattacks.
Yeah, we did have the double Randed played quite a bit last week. We do see right off the bat Zab going to get hit by a predicted shot there from Chips Hyen. But the double Randed's very mobile. They have a lot of jumps, as you said, a lot of darts and a lot of poison. But if they can bait them out and get those Wujus and Kunjus off, it is going to be very hard to keep very healthy. But as long as they stay near Peta, it should be okay. Zab is going to come back now to Peta. They're not really putting out a lot of damage yet. It looks like Rex already has full energy, which is ridiculous. And now he's just going to come out here to the mid. He's not going to be using it yet. Going to try to Wuju, try to bait out something, but he needs to get off this Runic Infusion sometime soon. Zab and Pendulum trying to keep up this harass, but Chip Cyan back in the bag. I mean, he's virtually untouched at this point. There goes the Runic Infusion and the goo, but that's actually a counter goo onto Rex, and Jackasm, he's going to be in it. Oh, we did have both goos down there. Could have sworn I'm not crazy, but Peta will go down. That's going to leave the 2 Randeds defend for themselves, but up against a healer and 2 DPS that can do a lot of, that avoidance of damage. It's going to be very tricky for them to do. So right now we do have, I think those were the EX darts coming out onto Chip. It does look like Chip Cyan is going to be focused. Zab has to jump away, but while all that was happening, Rex up top taking a lot of damage from Pandrum. No, not quite killed yet. Chip's going to get some more shots off there with the heals. Jackasm and Rex, even Chip, I mean, they do drop quite low, but if it's not 0, it's not good enough, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no... almost doesn't count in this game. It's all about kill or not kill, and right there it just showed. And a lot of big damages coming out from both teams there. The healers were really working overtime to keep everybody alive to that fight. So props to Chips and to Peta right there, doing everything they could to keep their targets alive. And Chips, I gotta say, his accuracy has got to be 90% with sleeps and injections and stuff. He is just ridiculous. But you can never say. It's funny, you never say enough about Jack, but at the same time, Chips is like godlike, literally. So. All the props in the world to that guy. And right now, though, he's dropping below 50%, as it looks like Zab is getting the big part of him, as actually EX Lunge comes out, trying to put him in the fight. Chips could be in big trouble right here. Toxic Bomb coming out. The barrier's barely keeping him alive. Get those heals up, as Pandrum now going back to him. Zab going to go back into him. And they're just looking for that damage anywhere they can get it, but now they're getting out of range of the heals. And, with no heals, they can't really be aggressive, so already Zab is going to go down due to that. And counter Goo coming out right now, that could be something, but, they're just going to walk out, and being as it's a 1v3 situation, Peta is just going to get destroyed right here. And it's going to be 2-0 for Team SK, and, man, full speed ahead is the only word can be used to describe SK right now.
Definitely a very dominant force. I did think the Cold team had that game in the bag because Rex was slept up in the middle there with Peta, and we did have both the Ranids just really chipping away at, oh man, that's going to be a terrible pun, chipping away at Chip Cyan, and I really did think they could get that since Rex was so far out of position, but, I mean, these guys, they pull it out of their hat every time, and they took that round very convincingly. So right now, Rex is, again, up in that top area. He is kind of far away from his team. He's going to come back now to do some more defensive maneuvers against this double Ranid combo to try to keep their hero in the know. Jackasm, however, with those spear slashes, it is a good amount of DPS, and just look at that. We throw down the goo. It's not even needed. Zab, unfortunately, just too far. Peta could not get the heals over just at all, so I don't know. Peta, he's staying into the mid, which is usually a good idea. You want to keep that map control, but Zab and Pandrum, they're just so far away from Peta. Jack does not want to give up on Peta right now, and I mean, why bother? I mean, we got Rex and Chip, Cyan, just really keeping Pandrum very occupied. Peta's doing a good job of keeping alive, and at the same time, actually doing some damage up against Jack, but right now, 2v3, as you said, you don't want to ever lose that first kill. It's a big mind game as well as morale, and you see 3 targets, you can always say, maybe they're just going to go off and heal, and you can't do anything about it. So 3-0, SK Gaming going to be taking this, and they're going to go to, the semifinals of the winners, or was this the semifinals?
That was the semifinals, so they're going to go into the finals. And actually a little bit of BM from Rexy's, I don't know if it was a troll or whatnot, but he's like, good luck in the lower brackets. I don't know, I'd be laughing if I said some shit like that, so maybe it's just me.
Well, if you last week during the Kill the King, during the finals, there was a lot of bad words being thrown around the stream at each other. So, I mean, that led to the apology, and now, when you are sponsored, you have to really keep good manners, because I think that's actually written into your contract. So they're saying good luck. Maybe we'll see you again in the finals. So I wouldn't take that as a negative.
I'm not. I think it's funny as hell, honestly, personally. But something that they were mentioning, Zab, is he was not happy after that loss right there. He's like, why don't we just CBA during ISR? No one can beat these guys. So the frustration obviously kicking in, and against a team like SK, it's really difficult, no matter how well you play, to come out on top. So we will most likely be seeing the other winner semifinals against In7 or Triple Brofist. Maybe. Am I right on that, Cass?
Cass, are you even there, dude?
I'm here. I'm the cameraman. Okay. Sorry, the title layer is messing up, and it won't rename itself, so I was trying to deal with that. But yeah, we are going to be watching the other semifinals game in the bracket. And again, guys, if you do want to check out the brackets, go to blgtv.net. There's a link at the bottom for the brackets, or if you want to be a little bit fancy or do it in style, the menu bar at the top, just scroll over BLG TV, and then there's a link for tournament brackets right up there. Click that, opens up in a new tab, and you can enjoy yourself as you're watching SK Gaming, formerly known as In Soviet Russia, wipe on through this tournament. Also, I'm just going to let you guys know what the heck this is, because we've been getting a lot of new viewers recently. This is the Kill the King tournament hosted by BL Gaming, of course streamed at blgtv.net, and the current kings, formerly known as In Soviet Russia, Rex, Chipsay, and Jackasm. We just watched them. But, right now we're going to get back to this match. So I'm going to hand it back over to Taz and Forecourt, who are doing a really good job commentating right here. And I'm just going to be doing the camera work.
Well, thank you, Cass. I am very what's the word I was thinking of? Flattered. There we go. And I was going to mention something that was kind of funny. Did you see the chibi art for Guardian? It looks like the fat princess from that PlayStation Online game. That is just hilarious. Looks like clearly a princess ate way too much cake. So I don't know. Maybe it's a play on words right there. Whatever.
Well, have you ever played the game?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like the greatest game ever. But man, it just looked. No, I looked at the picture. I was like, wow. I wonder if they got that from that game because it looked just like what they look like when you feed them too much cake. And, they get super fat and you have to carry them around and shit. It's funny. But, again, we're going to have Triple Bro Fist against In7 Game Esports, something or another.
In7 Esports.
Yeah, they took first place yesterday at the US Weekly, correct?
Yep.
All right. And these guys are a new team, or we haven't seen them around, or they just finally rose to fame?
They just keep changing names, but they've been in 7 the last couple weeks, so...
All right, take it away here, Tez.
All right, so, Appa on that Guardian. Watch for him to make an impact. But MTY, too, he has to be that impact maker for the Cold team as he is, deep against the other team right now. Going to throw out the Whirlwind right here, stick into Leadface, and that's a perfect idea right there. They got to take out that Nomad. As we were saying yesterday, Nomad's so powerful in the metagame right now, and just almost too powerful, quite frankly. And X-Strike is getting it right up. Triple Cyclonic Strike coming out from Appa right there. That is huge damage. And at the same time, they're going to be bleeding a little bit because of it. But, a decent recovery from that, but not going to be enough. Johu is going to get taken out by that giant cleave, and the boomerang's coming out. Just a little bit too much pressure. And MTY is sleeping on the job here in the middle of the map. And not really much he can do. He gets stuck in the chains of Zex right there. And with X-Teen in the air, MTY will be dropping. And this is going to be a quick round here for Team In7 Esports. And already looking really strong after yesterday's win on the US Weekly Tournament.
Yeah, they must be feeling very good about that. I mean, we are now into... Is this the semis or the finals of the winners?
This is semis. This is the other
must
semis.
Be the semis. Quite right. And yeah, I mean, if they've already made it this far, they've obviously been, wrecking face with Leadface there. Now, you did mention a little bit about the Nomad. That tornado of his is a very, very powerful CC. It kind of does rival the incapacity that comes out of that Engineer, but Appa is just doing so much damage with this Guardian. It's very impressive to see. So Mithy here in the mid has that barrier come out from X-Teen. X-Teen is going to be off in the back. Leadface is going to throw a boomerang his way. Not really going to matter at this much. It does look like the big focus now is going to be on Appa because he just did do so well last game. Return finally going to get some damage. Oh, Mithy's going to be bringing out that ultimate of his. It didn't do as much damage as you might think. There's the Cyclonic Strike, and that's actually going to put a bleed there onto Mithy. Mithy a little too far from X-Teen. Now he's going to come back. Joe staying in the back again, trying to keep up his M1 damage. Leadface is going to be running right through ultimates, I do believe, onto X-Teen with all those boomerangs coming out. Mithy is going to try, really try to get down Appa, as that has been his whole theme this game. It's not going to work, though, and Worm Team's going to take it once again.
Yeah, they keep saying they never change names, but I don't believe them. They're lying. Anyway, again, another, as you said, another strong round for the Worm Team, and right now, they just seem to be in quite control of the map, and a lot of it has to do with the Guardian. He's, I don't know if you noticed, but MTY used his Whirlwind, and Appa was just hitting him the entire time, just tanking the Whirlwind, like, no problem at all. I'm just going to keep beating on the Spearmaster since he can't Fleetfoot or Conjure away, because that'd be pointless to cancel the ultimate while he's also hitting return. So, he wasn't really... It has a lot to do with if he's confident in himself and confident in his healer, and definitely was at that point. And Leadface has a lot to do with it. Those X strikes have been really key on so far, and a lot of it has to do with the tornado, as you were saying too. That big CC ability, and right there though, a stray boomerang proccing the Kunju and giving MTY energy. And MTY has really not been hurt at all this match so far, but as I say that, he's going to get stuck in a goo plus an injection, and he's going to be taking a decent amount of damage. But he does have an ultimate right here, looking to use this Whirlwind. He's going to Whirlwind into Appa and return Appa, again, tanking that damage. The silence goes out from his trance. Great job by Appa, and kind of a rough play by Johu there, letting it go up. But MTY is going to get taken out by the big cleave hit, and actually X-Teen is going to get taken out solo by Leadface, so they're winning their 1v1 battles when they need to, and a lot of it has to do with Appa just outplaying MTY and just following MTY around the map, making sure he doesn't make any big plays happen, I guess.
One thing to note here is that we do have return healing. We also have Appa doing, his chain heal. He had over 600 healing that round, and that's a good extra burst healing that you can just throw around to your team wherever it's needed. So Cyclonic Strikes, chain heals, and that monstrous Axivis has such a big range, and it's a very wide arc. It's doing good stuff for the Worm team for In7 Esports.
Yep, and they're going to see if I kind of doubt that Cold Team will change their comp, even though they're getting really outplayed right now. It's definitely a comp I've noticed they always play. Every single person. I think MTY changes between Thorn once in a while, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but I think they just need to play their game a little bit more solid. I think they really have to focus that Nomad and maybe ignore the Guardian a little bit. They really haven't been able to put the damage on the Guardian when they tried to because they got that trance. And I think if they can find a way into the Nomad is got to be the target they go on to because he's just so useful for not only CC, but his damage is very high. He has a good amount of slows to go with it, and that really puts MTY and maybe the healer off his game as the healer tries to catch up to MTY, who's being really aggressive, and they just can't keep up with him. So, as I mentioned, they are going to stick with their same composition, and maybe they just got to play their game a little bit more solid than obviously last map where they lost 3-0.
Now, Team In7 Esports, they are grades 24, and they're up against 25s and a 22, so it's very even like that. We're going to have to see if the Cold Team can actually pull something out of their hat this round. Appa, he is a very big guy. He has 210 hit points, and it's really, when you focus him down like Mithy was doing, like Joho was trying to help out with, it's a lot of hit points to burn through, so they might have a little bit of a better chance, trying to get down Leadface or return even. Before that, it's just you got to be very careful of those Cyclonic Strikes and all that fun stuff. So Leadface getting very cornered right now, very separated from his team. He had at least 2 or 3 DPS people going down onto him, and he's going to get right back up there with temporary hit points, 96 hit points right now. Mithy missing the Harpoon, not going to be super great at all. Kunju's over to return, going to be using his fleet, but there goes the ultimate, lands it, tries to get off onto return, but the combo does take down Appa first. Very impressive coordination right there. Now, I know Mithy was mostly just trying to keep return out of the picture so the no heals go down, but good coordination from both Ixtine and Joho to take out Appa before we can even take out return.
Yeah, and I think they got the idea right that time. They put so much pressure on Leadface. Leadface had to use all his abilities pretty much defensively. He's using Wid Strike defensively, trying to get away. He was running away the entire time, not able to get those really key X strikes off to stun people during big channeled abilities like execute the heals, stunning during the heals, and like you see here, Leadface is able to be aggressive right now as he's getting the CC off where he needs to, but now he's going to be focused on right here, and needs to be careful as Johu taking a lot of damage right now. Looks like they're going to stick on to Johu. Johu dropping really quickly. He needs to be careful. He's stuck in a corner. He has nowhere to go. He needs the rocket jump or something. MTY is going to spin right now. That spin was just huge as he took out 2 heroes himself, and there was no better place for that to be in. He's just going to throw out a goo. Pray to God something happens, and he is not going to get his prayer answered, so he's going to go down. And wow, Cold Team has really come back from the 3-0 loss the first map.
The positioning of both those heroes up in the top corner, let alone the whole whirlwind. Let's see, top damage, last time in round number 1, the top damage for Mithy there was his whirlwind. This time, not so much. It was number 2, but they were just so far from return. Appa and Leadface up there, they just died so far away from their healer, and that's really splitting up the team really good there. So, Cold Team is going to be taking that 2-0. They can get this one. We are going to be forced into that 3rd game, so we're going to have to wait and see what we can do. Right now, Cold Team a little bit on the defensive. We do got the Worm Team advancing a little bit. Appa's going to charge right in. Mithy not going to be hitting that Harpoon on return. Instead, going to Kunju onto the opposite side, and right now, Leadface and Appa staying very well together, except Appa going to Cyclone Strike way over there, and unfortunately it only did hit Mithy, so a little bit of a wasted energy loss right there. But X-Teen very, very promising right now, misses the Sleep Vial onto return, so Mithy at the bottom, he needs to get right up to his healer. The Myth Vial goes down on Mithy instead. Fleetfoot needs to get some heals right now. Joho is in a lot of trouble right now as well, so they are going to go back to their healer, so good coordination right there. Joho has enough energy. There goes the rockets onto Leadface. snipes him from far away, but it was a trade-off because we did lose Xteen, and now we have to keep up this pressure. Mithy and Joho have to really get down either Appa, or they have to really focus down Return in a big burst, because both characters here can heal, and they will heal. There goes the spin. Appa taking so much damage. It's not going to be enough, though. Chain heal, but Return goes down. Again, another trade. Now it's going to be a one-on-one. We do have the temporary hit points on Appa, but he does have that chain. Wow. Joho not missing a single shot there. Misses the blind. He's going to get some healing off. So is Appa. He's just behind that. No, Appa is opting not to do the healing, but he is going to be using this pillar to line of sight. It's not going to matter much for a mortar, well, if we can hit the mortar. And I don't know. We're going to play a little bit of ring around the rosy here, Taz.
Yep, and it's really in favor of Johu right now. He's got the range advantage, and with those focus shots, he's just using it like a machine gun with those pistols right now. It's semi-automatic pistols, absolutely dominating Appa right now. Wow, look at that. Through the pillar. That just shows you the range of that axe. He just cleaves right through the pillar, hits Johu on the other side. And, this is coming down to the wire, and I think the wire just ended for Appa right there with that pickup of the roof. Oh, man, big damage. And the silence coming out, though. This could be something big. Always trying to make it happen, This is going to come down to the last H point, and Appa is going to take it.
Oh!
See.
Whiffed his ultimate. Whiffed it. Oh.
Sick.
That was a smurfage big time by Joe. I think Johu had that one, but, man, great play by Appa at the end. That was clutch.
We all just kind of got to sit back for a minute there after that.
That was
ridiculous game
right there, I guess, what you call. But they stayed in the game because of that. They stayed in. If they would have lost that one, they would have gone to losers bracket. So that was an important round right there. And Appa keeping his team alive. But look at Leadface right here. That chain heal was so big, but man, Leadface taking so much damage. And I talked about this before. Once he's taken out of the game a little bit, he could have a little bit of trouble, as Leadface still, the aggression's on him, gets chain healed again, back to full buffered HP, and right now they're just not putting a whole lot of pressure on this cold team. And wow, look in the background, MTY going on return with the Whirlwind. Whirlwind's not the biggest damage in the world, but you can't CC him, so Appa is in big trouble. The healer's out of range. I don't think the healer's going to get to him. He does have a berry on, but they do get a kill on X-Team right there, unbelievable, but it is a trade-off, and that is not what they needed right there. And, Return needed that one really bad. And look at that, execute to the back. Return went from 90% to 10% in about a second time period. And Appa just doing everything he can. Now he's in a really bad spot. As before it was 1v1, now it's 1v2, and that's going to be all she wrote. So, team... Why can I never remember their damn name? Brofist. Triple Brofist is going to go into the finals to take on... Wait, am I wrong here?
Dun dun dun.
I am wrong. God damn it.
Epic Climax, it's actually 1-1. Update right here, my title layers for the stream, it won't add, or it won't let me update the one that was at the bottom, so I had to delete it, and it won't let me make a new one. So I'm working on that. Technical difficulties, the software is in beta, but yeah. Anyways, get back to the match. Triple Brofist won, In7 Esports won, here in the semifinals of the winner's bracket. Intense games, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank God Cass is here to keep track. Holy shit, I can never keep track of numbers in this game.
You should probably not go over to something like StarCraft or LoL, where big numbers are. I mean, people will really pin you down for those. But yeah, I have trouble keeping track of the rounds here too. So I feel your pain here, Taz.
I watch the commentators with the StarCraft, and it gets. I can't stand the long games. It just takes forever. Oh my God. But it's a whole different style and everything, and these games just go so quickly. It's hard to really point out all the things going on, and when you try to do mathematics in your head while you're commentating, it's just you get mind fucked, quite honestly. So either way, we got Appa going in here aggressive on MTY, and MTY again really controlling his space very well, but he actually is going to get baited by that trance on Appa and get a silence on himself. But Leadface again, they're going on to him. Kunju comes out on the return from those X strike, and again a early Whirlwind for Matey here, and he's just really keeping those ultimates a pretty long time. Instead of using Harpoon or Tempest, he's just opting to go with the Whirlwind, and that's not usually something you see on the Spearmaster, but it seems to be working out for him so far. Johu, though, object of aggression right here, as X-Team is going to get stuck in the goo. Counter goo coming out on a return. They're both sitting, melting in the P right now, and they have absolutely nothing they can do about it. Leadface has an ulti. Johu has an ulti. Look at the damage on X-Team right there, but the rockets are coming out for Leadface, and there are so many low players right now. MTY is going to finish off Leadface with a boomerang, and actually a counter kill is going to be happening here. X-Team is going to go down, but Appa in a really bad spot. They need to get those heals out. Nice trance by Appa. Not going to matter, though, as his healer is going to go down. And again, MTY and Johu coming out clutch when need to be, and they again are going to win it for their team here, as X-Team just has a hard time dealing with that 3 pressure, and you can't really help them, but MTY and Johu really coming through for him.
That was an amazing kill at the end there. I mean, he saw the axe coming out, he jumps right through it and procs the conjure to get the kill. That was ridiculous on the whole scale of avoiding damage. Early into that match, we did see Leadface had a big 88 crit come out, so a lot of combined damage that laid down onto there, and that's just showing the coordination of Triple Brofist. Look at Leadface again dropping. He had a 52 back hit execute, just hit him right there. He just has to get all that temporary experience back up. Appa's going to go toe-to-toe with Mithy, and gets an armor break off. Is getting a lot of damage. X-Team is a little too far off. Needs to get that healing down. Mithy actually running the wrong way. Going to try to bait a Kanju. Not going to work. Appa, he has learned. But, there goes the goo. We have Mithy stuck in it. He can't get out, but he's going to use his ultimate anyways. No. A big overkill for him as Appa in the Cyclonic Strike, Cyclonic Strike is going to be taking that. Leadface, however, has done a good job of, surviving at this point. Needs to throw out a whirlwind onto X-Team so they can get down Johu, but no, he's stuck in the goo. He gets out of the goo just a little bit. No, he's going to get face rocketed by Johu instead. So a good combination again from the Cold team. So a 2 versus 2. Appa in return versus Johu X-Team now. If this is going to go down like we saw Johu and Appa before, then likely we're going to see the Worm team get this. Out goes the goo, unfortunately, not the best of placement, but that's going to allow another Cyclonic Strike to come out from Appa, and now it's going to be the 2v1. The Sleep Fire is going to go out on the stealth Johu, and fine, you're in stealth, but we kind of know where you are. The axe is going to be thrown here. Johu has the rockets, not going to be enough. Has to really stealth to run away. It's going to be blinding return. It's not going to matter because Balpa, he's not blind, and a big jump onto him, and there we go.
Judgment Strike. I love that ability. That would be EX space, by the way, on Guardian, where he gets to jump, and he does an armor break as well, so very useful ability, and it can be used both ways, offensively and defensively. I myself enjoy the Guardian playing both ways, so as they say, and we are at a 1-1 tie here, so they're keeping it really even for us. As we know, the maps are 1-1, as I've been clarified, thankfully, and they're going to keep this one as even as possible. This is, this is the semis, so whoever advances this one goes to play Team SK, and it sucks to have to play them, but at the same time, you don't want to have to go to losers brackets and essentially have to most likely play SK anyway. So nice X strike coming up from Leadface right there, though, getting big damage on Johu and X-Team. And look at Appa, just going on the healer. He's got the Cyclonic does not hit X-Team, only hitting MTY right there. And I think their best bet is to go on MTY. MTY is melting. Counter kill comes out MTY for Leadface. So now it's going to be a healer Gunner versus a healer Guardian. And this is still anyone's game right here. The HP is still relatively even. And, with Appa in return, they've got double healers going on. And it is very possible for them to come back from this. They're trying to get a res off here. Not going to happen, as Appa sees that, and is just going to interrupt it with the big old axe cleave. And now, nice execute there. Long range execute from Johu, getting the damage where it needs to be. And X-Team again, I don't know if he's healed. Yeah, X-Team, I guess, is healing the full right now. And not going to matter. There's another Cyclonic Strike is going to come out, plus the goo on Johu. Johu could be going down here, but nice barrier to save him from the pressure. And I think this one definitely has potential to be going to sudden death here, as they're really keeping even with those HPs. And, the healer's just working overtime, just spending most of their time healing instead of really getting the control down to actually find a kill. And, right now X-Team's making it known that, they got a teammate down and they're going to try and get the res off if they give them the chance. So they really need to find a way to be aggressive. And that rocket launch right there was big damage, but not enough to actually get anything out of. So it was basically 100% energy just to get a little bit of HP down. And now they're going to be able to heal up from it. And it's actually going to use that spacebar defensively, get out of there, and the mortar is going to be fine. So another attempt there. He's going to use it disperse. And this one is going to sudden death, so we'll see if the fog actually does make an appearance for the first time in quite a while. I can't remember the last time a sudden death actually happened where the fog killed someone. The metagame shifted to a more aggressive play. And right now, though, has potential. Smurfed goo right there. And another rocket launcher from Johu. Return actually in Latch Hole right now, as well as Appa. their HP is far below the Cold Team's max HP, and even with the space bars, they really got a lot of work to do. Double Cyclonic comes out, though. This could be where something happens, as he's actually going to hit by that mortar, surprisingly. And look at, here comes the fog creeping in. X-Teen has to be very careful, but Return is in a bad spot. He's essentially against the wall. Goo comes out. This could be where something needs to happen. They need to push him, block him off into the fog, and actually he's going to use the Cyclonic Strike to get back in. And Joe jumps into the fog right there. Is going to take some dot damage, and the Axe is actually going to finish him off. So, man, great play right there, but it looks like the Worm team is going to be coming out on this one at top. So, man, that was pretty close there at the end until Joe made that critical mistake.
Goes right up to the end, as you did say. Now, a critical mistake maybe, but I mean, with that fog coming in, you really gotta wonder about your real hit points as opposed to your temporary hit points, because that's going to be a big difference. And going into that, I do think it was the Cold Team with a lot more. Somehow, Worm Team pulled it out of their hat and just, I think that was 3 or 4 cyclonic charges around with Appa. It's just ridiculous energy gain for him. But there we go, 2-1. If Worm Team can take this, they are going to be moving on here to the winners finals, as this is the semifinals here of Kill the King. Right now, just a lot of damage going down. Mithy's going to get charged on from Appa, but he's not. He's going to use that Fleet Foot. No Kunja coming out yet. Gets a Shuriken double shot off and led